Being out and about and enjoying the sun, whilst it's very, very fun, it does always bring some certain risks. One of those can be obviously getting sunburnt a little bit too much. The other is a risk of insect bites. I seem to be a magnet for insect bites. I don't know why. Now, some of them are a part of life, but some can potentially carry hidden dangers or carry diseases. And if you've had enough of the bites and you want them gone, well, you're in luck today because we've got an expert in prevention with us. It's Howard Carter who's on the line with us today. Howard, thank you so much for joining us this morning. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
Morning.
Thanks for having me, sir.
You're most welcome, Howard. Now, have you noticed this year particularly that there's been an increase in insect bites for humans?
Yes, I mean, more than ever before. There's over 250,000 inquiries, or I should say reports from NHS online just in June alone. You're getting warned, well, Guernsey's been warned by Public Health Jersey about the risk in southern Europe of dengue and West Nile virus, although I would say those aren't present at the moment in the UK, but the mosquitoes that carry them are. But yes, mosquitoes in general and ticks as well, very high, higher than it's ever been.
And it's because of the weather, isn't it? It's because we're getting what some would call an Indian summer.
Yes, we get Indian summers every year. That's why the sun is out today. So, well, it's one of the reasons it's the start of it, so there'll be more, hopefully. But it's generally warmer weather, coupled with rains and floods, which, of course, the mosquitoes need to breed in stagnant water.
Now, you mentioned ticks earlier, Howard. Why are we seeing an increase in Guernsey with things like ticks?
Well, ticks, and I see you've got an outbreak of Asian hornets as well.
We do.
So all of these things is because of the warmer, wetter weather. I mean, I have devised this mnemonic called CLOAK, which is C for cover up. Cover up your bare flesh. L, if you're with light clothing, for L. O, be aware of the odours. If you're using scented products like perfumes and scented soaps and shower gels and so on, you're going to attract them to you, all of these bugs, pretty much. And then A, apply insect repellent. It's got to be a good quality repellent. Unfortunately, the standard DEET has been around for 70 years now, and certain mosquitoes have built up resistance to it. So a better one is a PMD, insect repellent, such as Incognito. It's available pretty much everywhere. And K, keep away from stagnant water, because they congregate around there. This is where they breed, this is where they lay their eggs. So they're hanging around there waiting, or I should say, only a female's bite. So that's one way to avoid them. Talking of avoiding, I do a blog, avoidingbites.com, which if people are getting bitten, they'll understand how not to be bitten. I'm a government expert as well around the world. So people that using my methods, are pretty much bite-free.
Howard, have you ever seen an increase, if you run this blog or this website, have you ever seen sort of a spike at about 2-3 in the morning because people have woken up itching their bites and scratching them and sort of frantically sort of searching online to find the answers as to how to get rid of the itch?
No, to be honest, I don't really look at that's certainly not. That's a good. That's a time when people do itch. There's a little. Have you seen those clicker devices? Those little tiny little clicker devices.
Yeah,
they're brilliant. Zappies. You simply click a bite 4 or 5 times. Completely takes the urge to itch and scratch away. And also, if you do it as soon as you get the bite within the first hour, it's an antihistamine. It blocks histamine release from the brain simultaneously. So those sorts, you do need tools, but you need to be ready for them, because every time with mosquitoes, every time someone is bitten, one of your listeners is bitten, that means another 200 legs, sorry, eggs that female will lay. Probably need legs to run away from them.
Yeah, I imagine you do.
Humans can outrun them, but the warmer the weather, the faster they fly. So that's why they're such a danger at this, or a pest, I should say.
They are pests, aren't they? Because I mean, I know, and we'll get onto this in a little bit, because I know that there are insects out there that do really well. Certain things are pollinators. So we shouldn't all the time be sort of saying, that wasps are horrible, and sort of, even though it's, a good idea to sort of bat them out the way because you don't want them infesting your barbecue. But they, for one, I feel like I'm somebody who's targeted. I've been lucky this year, touch wood, Howard. I've been pretty lucky this year. I've managed to avoid bites as far as I'm aware, but when I go abroad, I seem to be a magnet. What is it about some particular people? Is it the blood type that sort of attracts more bugs, or what is it that makes some people more tasty to insects than others?
Well, there's a few things. First of all, some people are very fortunate. You and I aren't in that category, this category, which is they have a repellent in their blood. They have this sort of camouflage. I mean, similar to incognito, they have it in their blood, so they don't need to get insect repellent or anything, and they don't get bitten. Between 1 in 20, 1 in 25 people are lucky enough to have that. Women are more attractive than men. I think we know that anyway.
Is that just a general statement?
But to mosquitoes. Mosquitoes find the skin is thinner, especially around the ankles, the wrists, so women tend to get bitten there. Attractive women, like yourself, need to take a bit extra precaution. It's one thing not to use scented products, but it's another good thing is rather than use scented products, you can use citrus wash, citronella hair and body wash. These sort of products, any citronella washing product will give you a baseline. But then again, the only thing that's really going to stop you getting bitten at this time of year, this bear in mind, because of the wet summer we've had, it's only now that they're out in force. So the next 2 weeks, in fact, they will be out until the beginning of November when they take their final blood meal. But from now to November, I mean, I'm sort of giving out advice all over the country to stop people getting bitten, not just from insects like mosquitoes, but ticks as well, which they do carry Lyme in this country, and now TBE.
Yeah, because this is something that we really should be aware of. It's, if there is a rise in ticks within the Channel Islands and in the UK, you've got a mnemonic as well to protect against ticks, haven't you?
I have, yes, which is T, think ticks, I, incognito insect repellent, C, cover up again. Even a little bit, an inch of bare flesh, a tick will find it. And then K, keep to the path, trying to avoid long grass. 1 inch. If you're walking through long grass, they do land on your clothing. That's what they're geared to. They rub against clothing, flesh, and again that's through scent. They can detect that it's you or your animal. Like cats or dogs. And then S, symptoms. Be aware of Lyme symptoms, which are the main one, I think a lot of people know this, is a bullseye rash. You've got the red ring around a red dot. If you've got that, very important that you just make a beeline, excuse the pun, to your GP, and insist on antibiotics. But not all the time, if you've got Lyme, does that bullseye rash appear. So if you've got any strange symptoms like headaches, fever, even if it's slight, then do get along and have a test. The tests aren't perfect in the UK. But it is important to, if you think you've got a bite, then go to your GP. But they are incredibly hard to spot. The size of a pinhead.
Oh wow!
And they can get, and they burrow into burrow into folds of flesh behind the ears, the groin, anything fleshy. If you're overweight, then you need to check after every outing to the country. I mean, it's not just the countryside. People think, it's all right. But if you're going into your garden, they have been found a lot in gardens recently.
Right.
A lot more ticks. There's been studies to confirm that, and also a big study by the London School of Hygiene and Tropical Medicine has found that Lyme disease has doubled in the last decade, and BMJ, the British Medical Journal, think that it's 3 times more likely, or 3 times the actual figures. That's the real picture. So it is so important that people, it's not scaremongering, it's caremongering.
That's it.
Because without some sort of impetus, people are just very blasé. Oh, it's not going to happen to me. It's not going to happen to her or my dog. But Lyme can really ruin a life. I mean, I've seen it happen with friends and with other people. You've only got to Google ticks. Go on to. I'm pretty sure there's my tick blog. There's a tick blog I wrote on avoidingbites.com. But it's preparing yourself, getting ready. Make sure you've got that insect repellent. Not wait until they're buzzing around. Have it ready. It's like the Boy Scouts, be prepared. So when you're going abroad, you need to take all of everything that you can, because half of Europe has dengue now. There's been a big dengue explosion. I got into this business by contracting malaria, followed by 6 months later by dengue. I nearly died. It was that, and then as I didn't die, I invented sort of several things, and mnemonics, and I give a lot of talks around to make people aware of the dangers. But when you're going to Europe, are you planning to go this year at all?
I'm probably going to be heading off towards the end of the year to break up that winter, to be honest, Howard.
Well, towards the end of the year, you stand a lot less risk, but they will be mosquitoes take a final blood meal before they go into diapause,
right,
which is the equivalent of hibernation, and she takes that so that she can last all the way through in this sort of like form of suspended animation. Her eggs will last. As soon as the spring comes, then they hatch again, but during that last blood meal phase, they are super aggressive, and you can take the chance, but it's a big risk, and especially now that the public health Jersey is talking about West Nile has been found in southern Europe more than ever before. It never used to be in. A few years ago, West Nile virus wasn't present, and that's carried by a different mosquito. But it's if we all sort of take precautions, prevention is better than cure, then the risk for all of us goes down.
You're completely right, Howard, and it seems like you're a warrior as well, and having gone through these 2 horrible things from purely from insect bites, and being able to spread that knowledge, I think it's very important. And you're right, it's not scaremongering, it's caremongering. It's about being prepared with the knowledge. If you equip yourself, you always stand a better chance. Howard, it's been lovely chatting to you. Thank you so much, and I'm hoping that you can enjoy the summer as well, the late summer that we're going to get, and avoid those bites as well.
I hope so. Well, I tend to make sure I'm not bitten. It'd be terrible if I was bitten. People wouldn't really take much note of what I was saying, but no, I know exactly what to do, which is what I've just relayed to you, imparted to your listeners. So. Yeah. That's it. Thank you for having me.
You're most welcome. Thank you so much. That was Howard Carter, the insect bite prevention expert. A good person to have around, I think, when you're going out on a day trip. The interesting mnemonic there that he spoke about, CLOAK, cloak, cover up, light clothing odours, so avoid things like strong smelling perfumes. I'm a sucker for that, actually, which means that they're a sucker for me. Apply insect repellent. And keep away from stagnant water. Of course, we've all seen sometimes when you've got like a little bin or something that's been left out and you can see the larvae in there. It's always important to kind of avoid that where you can. If you want to find out more about Howard's work and more tips that he's got, he seems to be a pro at how to avoid bite experts. I'm going to be heading over there whenever I get bitten. Avoidingbites.com is the website that you need to go and check out. So that's avoidingbites.com, and hopefully you can enjoy your summer even into November as well, avoiding that pesky itch. I imagine this is sort of from the mosquito's angle here.